Happy hobby, I'm Dave Gonos, and if you're a sports car collector and you're working with a limited budget, that's what we talk about here. Today it's kind of extra special. We're wrapping up our vacation. You can tell we're in Walt Disney World. I'm all non-shaven. It's kind of a, but I wanted to do a video because it's something I've been thinking about lately. I've been doing some rereading the book called Mint Condition, and there's a series that I plan on starting for the newsletter and for the videos about sports cards history. And so I wanted to start from all the way back into the, basically right after the Civil War when this all started. So I thought that would be a fun series to do. But in doing this, man, it just reminded me of a bunch of stuff. And if you haven't ever read the Mint Condition book, look in the description. I have a link to it to Amazon. You can buy it, the Kindle version for like $10, or you can buy the hardbound version or even a paperback version, which I suggest those only because you get to see the pictures in those and they're pretty awesome. It's pretty cool. But in doing so, like I said, I've kind of looked back into sports card history, and the writer for this book, Dave Jamieson, this book was written in 2000 or was published in 2010. So it was written before that. A lot of stuff has happened in the past 15 or so years that I thought really should be in a book. I wish he would do a follow-up to this book. Now, the book highlights different eras of sports card history, including the 1880s, the tobacco cards, the cigarette cards from the early 19 teens, the candy cards and the gum cards of the 1930s, the Topps Bowman battle. So I wish he'd do a follow-up and detailing a lot of the stuff that's happened in the past 15 years, and really a lot of it's happened in the past few years. But some of the things I thought, first I want to ask you if you can think of things that would be good, a good chapter in a book or a good mention, something kind of dive into, mention it in the comments. But some of the things I'm talking about is like Panini taking over football and basketball singularly. Like Panini took that over, took it away from Topps and Upper Deck. Like that was a pretty big deal when that happened. They also introduced sets that have rookie cards, one per pack. Now you think about that, back in the 80s, 90s, there weren't one rookie card per pack. It was, you could get multiple rookie cards, you could get no rookie cards. So that kind of changed the industry just a little bit. Upper Deck becoming the hockey card only guys. And then they also did a similar move with the Young Guns. It's part of the base set, but then they also made it a chase card because they're rare, kind of rare. The hobby exploded during the pandemic. That's a huge deal because that really set into play everything we're dealing with now. The junk grading card era, which a lot of people say the junk grading card, that term, it overwhelmed PSA and what that did for that company and how it sprouted up competitors. Also, SGC's decision to change their label and to change their slab, what that did for that company. Beckett, how they fumbled opportunity to take over PSA's market share, and they fumbled it. They really screwed that up. How about Topps? They're about to go public, and then one day before they go public in their IPO, Fanatics buys them out. Or basically, Fanatics doesn't buy them out yet. Fanatics gets the licenses for NFL, NBA, and MLB, basically rendering Topps kind of out in the cold. They kind of push them out in the cold. They eventually bought Topps, so that's a story in itself. Fanatics, I mentioned them. Shohei Ohtani. The Shohei Ohtani experience over the past 7 years is unlike anything we've ever seen in sports cards, so that's a big deal. 101 Superfractors, the Logo Man cards, the MLB debut rookie patch cards, those are big deals. Those are relatively new. How about the one who shall not be named? Shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays. This guy, he came out on the scene, he was the most highly anticipated rookie card, in my opinion, since Ken Griffey Jr. Not because he was the best rookie coming in, but because so many people had come into the card collecting hobby that when his rookie card was finally coming out in 2022, Topps Series 1, it was the most highly anticipated rookie card since the kid. And then what does he do? 1 year later, gets arrested in the Dominican Republic for, stupidity. And so now he's completely out of the picture. So what did that do in that 2 years? What that did to the hobby, what it did to card collectors that just came into the hobby, like that's a story in itself. That would be like I tried to come up with a similar thing. It'd be like Ken Griffey Jr. 2 years in getting arrested for something during the junk wax hobby. Like that would have been probably the closest thing. I was thinking maybe the Shohei Ohtani gambling controversy early this year, but that wasn't even, it's not even comparable because it's 7 years later or 6 years later for him. Connor Bedard becoming the most highly anticipated rookie card in hockey since Connor McDavid in 2015. The scams. Remember the card porn guy? Remember that guy? He was like one of the biggest whistleblowers, and he was busting people left and right for dirty tactics. And then what happens with him? He gets busted for a forged counterfeit Michael Jordan jersey and a ton of other things on top of that. What about the thieves at the Dallas Card Show? Like that's almost a chapter in itself. The major missteps by a lot of the manufacturers is they tried to take advantage of the card explosion. So that's what I've got. Those are the kind of the stories that I thought would be interesting as new chapters or new stories that could be dug into by Dave Jamieson or another writer. I just want to see somebody else do this. That book, Mint Condition, the best ever sports card history book, it's kind of like the only sports card history book. Like all the other ones are specifically about Topps versus Bowman or about Upper Deck starting off. But this was the best one where it really lays out how the hobby became the hobby that we know today. So I want to hear from you. Name some things that I missed. Name some news events that would have been cool to be covered. Now I'm talking about the sports card world though, not just the sports world. Like I'm not talking about the Warriors dynasty or how the Dodgers out-Yankeed the Yankees for the World Series. I want to talk about sports cards individually. So let me know in the comments, and whatever you do, make sure you have a happy hobby.